welcome to my Lifestyle Chav Chat channel. Pretty ugly. Do looks matter in society?
The image, yeah, I drew, it's saying, yeah, this is my beloved. Yeah, somebody who has this type of essence about them, you know, this type of expression about them, you know, very sharp, you know, to the point, you know, direct, you know, and he's just so intensely beautiful and gorgeous, you know, and intensifyingly delicious to me, yeah, that just to look at him, you know, I feel like a rabbit in the headlights that's gonna get shot down, you know. His energy is like intense like this, you know, it's making me feel like it's like it just shoots me down, you know, it renders me powerless and hopeless, you know, and submissive. So I've lived in America twice. I've visited America twice, yeah, and lived there 2 times. And the first time, I was like 18, 19, much younger. I'm in my 40s now. And I was in New York. I absolutely loved the experience of living in New York. And second time that I lived in America, I was in Pennsylvania. And I was staying with family. And in a sort of, it was actually called Executive House. So it was like luxury. It wasn't luxury, it was like an apartment block with, I don't know how many apartments were in the block. But it was one of these type of residential places, and then they had, they didn't have a swimming pool, but they had a gym, a communal gymnasium for people to use, for the residents to use, and then a communal area downstairs where you could go and get like your teas and your coffees, or if you was having a meeting, or if the staff there were having a conference or meeting, you know, the lounge sofas, coffee dining table, TV, a lounge area for the residents. It's very nice. And so this apartment block, usually they're maintained, aren't they? They have cleaners, they have a supervisor who maintains the building. If there are any like faults or repair works needing to be done, I suppose they're the person to be contacted. Yeah, is the maintenance supervisor. And so there was somebody like this who worked there, and he was like this Spanish speaking dude. And there was a younger guy who worked with him. I don't know if it was his son. It was like a younger, like mixed race looking dude, mixed race Spanish speaking dude who worked with him. And so I used to go in the communal lounge area sometimes, and I'd see him there, and then we'd just have a chat. Yeah, as you do, like you just get to know people, don't you? You just have a chat, and you get to know residents and whatever else. And so I was using the gymnasium. Sometimes I'd go down and use the equipment in gymnasium, and I think around this time I was just having like I don't know, issues maybe about my appearance or something, or getting not overly concerned about my looks or my appearance or something. I don't know what I was going through, but something like this. And I was in the gym, and I was like, you know, they have the mirrors. I was looking in the mirror, and all my hair, I had all my hair out, like like just out, you know, like all sticking up, out, crinkly curly, not quite an afro, but a crinkly curly, like sticking up. Yeah, looking like I just got out of bed. And I was doing all like, putting all these like weird faces like this in the mirror. I was on the bike, I was on the spinning bike. I was in the mirror like doing like, I was doing all like this, yeah, like this. And I was doing it purposely because you know, sometimes they have cameras, don't they, in these buildings, obviously just to man and supervise the building, make sure nobody's getting up to no good. But I was aware that there was cameras, and I was like, I wonder who's watching me, you know, behind these cameras. just messing about, doing all like this. I know, I'm pretty sure this mixed race, Spanish speaking young dude, yeah, I think he saw this, I think he saw what I was doing, because I was on my own at the time on the bike, in the room, there was nobody else in the room. But I think he saw on camera what I was doing at that occasion. And because the next couple of days, he just, whenever I'd see him, he kept saying the word ugly. He just kept saying it, like in conversation or in passing. Or ugly this, ugly that. Yeah, like on repeat. So I was like, alright then. This dude seems to me like he's trying to tell me something. Okay. Oh yeah, so what I wanted to mention, yeah, I don't know what it was. First time I went to New York, yeah. First time I went to America, yeah. I absolutely loved it, yeah. And the second time I went, I was 36. First time I went, I was 18. The second time I went, I was in Pennsylvania, I was 36. And when I went, I was expecting to meet my family and be with my family and meet some people and have a good time, create some good memories, go out, all of this. Because I do remember the first, like when I was in New York, I never went out. Like I didn't see any of the nightlife. You know, so I was thinking, okay, on this occasion, you know, have to make sure I enjoy myself. You know, probably see some celebrities, you know, see some of the nightlife and all of this. And when I got there, I don't know what, I just had a complete opposite experience. And I kept having these conversations with people that started getting me to question, why am I attracting this type of energy into my life? And I started to question myself like this because, for example, this mixed race dude, just on one occasion, I started having conversation with him. He was telling me how he wanted to get a license for a gun, and you know how he was feeling like he was explaining to me, you know, I really need to like protect, I really need to get a gun, to carry a gun on myself, because I just really have that need to protect myself. And you know, he was saying all this in a manner like, you know, because in America, you know, I think he just was like, oh, she's from England, she don't know what it's like here, you know. So he was telling me in this kind of manner, you know, I really need to protect myself, I need to get a license, because you know the police, they're here, and if you're a person of colour, they will just, you know, if you're in the wrong crowd or the wrong, they will just shoot you, they don't care, you know, and it's just getting out of control. So I need to do what I need to do, yeah, for myself. I need to get my license and become like a licensed gun holder and all of this. So I was just listening like, okay, taking in what he's saying. I was like, all right then, because we don't have in UK, we don't have this issue with the guns. Well, actually now it's just getting out of control, isn't it, the knife crime. But anyway, we don't have this gun issue with the guns like they do in America. Another occasion, I met this black dude. He was more like, I'll go on about complexion because you know what it is, obviously I'm Caribbean, you can see that I'm black Caribbean, you know, but my family, my immediate family, some of my family, we're all basically different tones of the rainbow. We're all different colours of the rainbow, basically. So I have members in my family that are much darker than me, very, very dark black. And I have members of my family, especially even in my immediate family, they're much fairer than me. You know, they can pass for like half white, they look mixed like this. You know, so this is why I'm the least racist person you'll ever meet. I really don't care for race, I really don't care for colour, I really don't care for these things. But I just mention these things. You can get an idea, you get a picture in your head, yeah, of what I'm talking about, of who I'm talking about. I'll always, if I'm talking to somebody and I want them to they're telling me about somebody, yeah, first thing I say is, Oh, what colour are they? What do they look like? It's just so that I have in my mind that mental image of this person that they're telling me about. So, this other guy, to be honest, I don't know how I met him. I think I met him outside. I think I was shopping in like a supermarket, in like a food outlet nearby where I was living, and we just got talking. I think black guy, like darker than me, not like dark, but like one tone darker than myself, yeah. And so I was like, oh, we got talking, and I was like, okay, well, I can't invite you back to my place, but if you want to come sit here for a little bit, I'm at the communal area. You know, we can sit and chat, you know, if you want. It was like, alright then. So it was kind of like a date, you know, it's kind of like a half date or something like this. We was just talking, we was just getting to know each other, but I suppose that's what you call a date. You know? So it was kind of like that. But then this dude, he I'm sitting with him, yeah, talking with, like, getting to know him, trying to get to know him, and he starts explaining to me how he got shot. He was in Philadelphia in the city centre, and somebody shot him, and this and that, and he was showing me where the bullet went into his lower stomach there, in his belly, in his lower belly. He was showing me the mark and the scarring and all of this. I was like, okay, great, lovely. But yeah, I'm telling you this, yeah, I'm explaining this because not only around this time, but these incidences I'm explaining to you later to make you see what I'm talking about. I started reflecting why I always seem to attract. I'm not a violent person, I'm not an aggressive person, and I really don't like confrontation either, you know. I don't like arguing even. I really hate arguing, you know, but I don't know why people always seem to just want to argue with me. I don't know why. And so this is what I'm starting to question, why I'm always attracting this type of energy. Yeah. What is it about me? I always attract this. Why I cannot just attract into my life just like normality, you know, like normal energy. It's always got to be this over, hyper, intense, dynamic, you know, energy. Yeah, and so another thing is why I always got to be explaining myself to people, because you know what, there was a guy I absolutely adored, this gay dancer dude, and I drew this picture, this etching sketch of this angular figure, very angular looking, with antlers coming out of his head, pointing this rifle gun pointing like this, about to shoot a rabbit. You know, I drew this picture, I was thinking, oh, this could maybe be like my logo or something for a brand or something like this. And this Etch-a-Sketch logo thing I was drawing. And this angular looking dude with a rifle in his hand shooting a rabbit. Yeah. And I put a Song of Solomon scripture next to it. You know, oh, this is my beloved. I put this is my beloved. And then I put that scripture about jealousy. Jealousy is as cruel and heartless as the grave, or whatever it is, yeah? However it goes. No, love, that's it. Love is as strong as death. Yeah. Cruel and heartless as the grave, as relenting as Sheol, or something like this it is, yeah. I don't know how it goes, whatever. So, yeah, I noticed ever since I've done this I drew this picture, yeah, and I put it on Facebook. Yeah, I put it on my social media. And I did notice that, I think it was ever since I drew this picture, you know, I started getting this like intense, violent, like people around me just always going on about guns and gun violence, and like I'm saying about these two dudes going on about the guns, yeah, that they need to protect themselves and this and that. I started questioning, thinking, you know, is it because of this picture that I drew why people keep talking to me, you know, about guns all of a sudden, you know, and getting shot up, you know, getting shooted up and all of this, yeah. But I really just was thinking, you know, what's wrong with people? This is a picture I drew, you know. I didn't literally mean, you know, I'm after a lover who wants to shoot me down. You know, it's like abstract, you know, it's like art. You know, I really started thinking, do people not understand these things about creativity and imagination and abstractness and art? You know, what's wrong with people? I didn't draw the picture meaning, yeah, it literally, this is my beloved, yeah, and this is who I want for my lover. You know, somebody who's going to come into my life, you know, put a gun to my head and shoot me down. You know? It's like metaphorical. Do people not understand metaphorical expression? You know, what's wrong with people? The image, yeah, I drew, it's saying, yeah, this is my beloved. Yeah, somebody who has this type of essence about them, you know, this type of expression about them, you know, very sharp, you know, to the point, you know, direct, you know, and he's just so intensely beautiful and gorgeous, you know, and intensifyingly delicious to me, yeah, that just to look at him, you know, I feel like a rabbit in the headlights that's gonna get shot down, you know. His energy is like intense like this, you know, it's making me feel like I'm just, it's like it just shoots me down, you know, it renders me powerless and hopeless, you know, and submissive, you know. This is the point of the art etch sketch that I drew, you know, not, oh, I'm drawing this because, you know, I'm after a lover who wants to come in my life, you know, with a gun and come and shoot me in my head. You know, I'm thinking, like, what's wrong with people? They don't understand these things, that I have to, like, be explaining these things. Are people, like, dumb or something? What's wrong with people? And they're just slow. What's wrong with people? All the time I gotta be explaining myself. Explain this, explain that.
Yeah,
You know, what's wrong with people?
If I want to paint my face white, you know, and put on a long black leather coat, you know, and dress up like Brandon Lee from The Crow, yeah, and then pose like this, yeah, do a photo shoot with myself, yeah, posing like this, yeah, because it's Halloween or something. It doesn't mean I think I'm a bloke, yeah, that I think I'm a man, that I think I'm Brandon Lee, yeah, who's come back from the dead or something. Like, I'm just thinking, what is wrong with people? All the time I have to be intensely explaining myself to people. What's wrong with them? Don't have creativity, don't have imagination. You know, do they not know how to creatively, articulately, eloquently express themselves or something? You know, what is going on? What's wrong? I have to keep pointing finger at Marcia Sparks. Yeah, looking at me saying, what's wrong with that girl? Yeah, she's psychotic or something. She got psychosis. What's wrong with that girl? Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, what's wrong with people?
Part 1 of Pretty Ugly. Do looks matter in society? Let me know in the comment section. Do you feel pretty? Do you feel ugly? Does society make you feel pretty? Does it make you feel ugly? Does your family make you feel pretty, ugly, or beautiful? How do you feel about yourself? What validates your own feelings about yourself?
Attracted to is what you're attracted to. Attracted to
how
you.
you look, shape, what you're attracted to. So let me know in the comments section.
And be sure to check out part 2. See you later. Bye bye.